Shalom, shalom. This is the brother Kadar Bond, GMS Gulf Coast. I'd like to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kadash. Double honors are given unto the apostle elders of the great millstone, men who have labored and suffered in this truth for over 30 plus years, making their lives and their bodies a living sacrifice. I also like to send a shalom to the hopeful elect, the 1/3 of the nation of Israel. I also like to send a shalom to the various GMS camps, heads, and elders. Last but not least, I'd like to send a shalom to any of you Akim that are out on the highways and hedges, not named GMS, but walking one spirit, one body in Yahweh Shai with this 100% truth as taught to us all by the apostle elders of Great Millstone. To you all, shalom. Real quick, Lord willing, this be edifying. Prince Charles, I believe it is, one of the royals, he went down to Jamaica here. I think it was yesterday or today. Anyway, he got a rude awakening. And he was, giving out fake apologies. And well, actually, he didn't apologize. I'm going to pull the clip and play a few minutes of it, maybe a minute or so of it, just for edification's sake, just for educational sake. But, yeah, it's the Lord has put in the spirit to confront these devils. And there's a scripture where the Lord said, Slakia. There's a scripture, Slakia. And Psalms 94:16, I'm going to grab it real quick if I could. Bible sure. Let's see. Psalms 94:16. This is Psalms 94 and straight to the point. Now I'm going to start at verse 13, and it reads, I'm going to start at verse 12. This is Psalms 94:12. Blessed is the man whom thou chastenest, O Lord Yahweh, and teaches him out of thy law. And that will pertain to the Israelites, particularly in this particular time, talking about the 1/3 of the nation of Israel, But ultimately all of Israel is going to be, it's going to be put in order. But right now, this is pertaining to the 1/3, because the Lord chastened those he loved, And not to get off the point, the point is that, these so-called white people, these Edomites, they can see the writing on the wall, for lack of better words. And so their children are starting to try to distance themselves. Let me hold that back. I ain't going to say they're trying to distance themselves, but they're trying to pretend as though, the atrocities that have been done by their forefathers, they're ashamed of them. But yet still they reap the rewards of their fathers. Anyway, let's go to 13. It says, let me start back at 94 and 12. It says, blessed is the man whom thou chastenest. That will be the 1/3 of the nation of Israel, O Lord, and teaches him out of thy law. And only the law was given to the Israelites. Verse 13, it says, that thou mayest give him rest from the days of adversity until the pit be digged for the wicked. And the wicked, pursuant to Malachi 1:4. Also Job 9:24. We know them to be Esau, Edom, who calls themselves Caucasian race of the so-called white man. It says thou mayst give rest, Slakin, that thou may give rest from the days of adversity until the pit be digged for the wicked. And that time is coming. Verse 14, it says, for the Lord Yahweh will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. And that's going into the 1/3, that remnant. Verse 15, it says, but judgment shall return unto righteousness, and all the upright in heart shall follow it. And that's going, like I said, that's going to the 1/3 of the nation of Israel, those who are waking back up to the law, statutes, and commandments, and rehearsing the righteous acts to the best of their ability. Verse 16, and it reads, who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? And that's going into, like I said, this is going into the 1/3. Just why you see the brothers on the highways and hedges week in and week out, stuff the apostle elders on down to brothers as young as myself in this faith, Abba Ratazah, Lord, keep spirit on all his brothers, beginning with the leadership on down. Verse 17, unless the Lord Yahweh had been my help, my soul had almost dwelt in silence. And the Most High woke us up, quickened the spirit, made us lively. Kayah made you lively to this truth, to go out and preach the gospel, so that all the prophecies will come to pass, will come about, so that the Lord can establish what he had promised to his only begotten son. Anyway, I brung that out because and it's a clip that I'm gonna show. Great Britain. That they try to pretend as though this slavery wasn't that big of a deal, but at the same time they know, and it's just passive in how not only Great Britain but all of Edom, all of so-called white people, how they just hey, it was what it was, we're sorry, not sorry, but we're sorry, let's let bygones be bygones. Anyway, let's read right here. This is the history of the British slave ownership has been buried. Now its scale can be revealed. It says a new BBC documentary tells how a trove of documents lays bare the names of Britain's 46,000 slave owners, including relatives of Gladstone and Orwell. Let me grab my glasses. I'm sitting up here. It's like this is ridiculous. I got glasses and I'm sitting up here straining to see these words. Anyway, let's read. It says the past has a disconcerting habit of bursting uninvited and unwelcome. And that's the spirit, because I was looking at this clip and it says that the Brits, as a matter of fact, let me see. And it says the British Royals get a rude awakening in Jamaica. So they was unwelcome in Jamaica. And those Jamaican brothers and sisters, they are of the tribe of Benjamin. So they're Israelites. The local white folks, they got a lot to answer to when it's all said and done. Anyway, the past has a disconcerting habit of bursting uninvited and unwelcome into the present. This year history gate crashed modern American in the form of a 150-year-old document, a few sheets of paper that compel Hollywood actor Ben Affleck to issue a public apology. Listen to this. And forced the highly regarded U.S. public service broadcaster PBC Slovakia, PBS, to launch an internal investigation. Remove details. It says the document, which emerged during the production of film Finding Your Roots, a celebrity genealogy show, is neither unique nor unusual. It is one of thousands that record the primal wound of the American Republic, slavery. It lists names of 24 slave men and women who in 1858 were owned by Benjamin L. Cole Affleck's. Listen, this is Ben Affleck's great grandfather. So you have a lot of your celebrities. Yes, you have a lot of your celebrities that their forefathers go back to this shameful history. I'm laughing within myself, but man, that's why the scriptures say you can never trust your enemies, and this man can do no good. I was laughing because I was thinking to myself, speaking with my mother-in-law. She was like, hey, I speaking about so-called white folks, all of them are not good. I mean, bad. Some of them are good, but with a history like this, see, so-called blacks, you also call blacks, Native, Seminole, and Native Americans. See, you're ignorant of this, because you go to a church Sunday service, you good, you good. You're ignorant of this, Anyway, let me not run on. It says it lists names of 24 slave men and women who in 1858 were owned by Ben L. Cole Affleck's great grandfather. When this is when this uncomfortable fact came to light, Affleck asked the show producers to conceal his family links to slavery. And see, they like to do that. They like to hide things. You understand? They like to hide things, and they have the benefit of the doubt for right now to do so, to be able to hide the history. But now that you have the unicorn, you have the internet. A lot of things can be searched out. Through Google search and whatnot. But you got to be quick on the draw, because once they find out how that they actually have links to this, they'll try and erase that. Like this critical race theory. They don't want to be feeling uncomfortable after all the things that their forefathers have done, and they reap the benefits of it. And then when the facts, come bursting to the scene, just like these articles and whatnot, they don't want to deal with it. Because, what's the most favorite thing so-called white people like to say? I have black friends. I'm not racist. And that's the number one consensus across the board when you deal with white folks. That'd be the first thing that they say. And in actuality, that just shows their guilt. Affleck asked the show producers to conceal his family's link to slavery. Internal emails discussing the programming were later published by WikiLeaks, forcing Affleck to admit in a Facebook post, "I didn't want any television show about my family to include a guy who owned slaves. I was embarrassed." I'm quite sure you was. Where it says Affleck didn't, forcing Affleck to admit in a Facebook post, "I didn't want any television show about my family to include a guy who owned slaves. I was embarrassed." Real quick, this is Ecclesiastes, a.k.a. Sirach, 41:7, to the point. And it says, "The children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall be reproached for his sake." Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's proof, That's why you reap the rewards. That's why you have status. You have first class status. the things that your forefathers had did, and the fact that you, quote unquote, was not back there then you feel as though you can distance yourself from the crimes. No, you can't distance yourself from any crime. You can't come and take someone's house, someone's land, and then 3 or 4 generations later, Shalaki, three great grandfathers later, you found out that you're living on stolen land and you want to distance yourself from that. Legally, you are bound. You're bound to go in court and straighten that matter. You understand? Second of all, it is a shameful history that's the way you have to acquire things. And then thirdly, America supposed to be this melting pot and everybody supposed to get along and supposed to be equal, quote unquote. But we know that not to be the case. And so you feel how would it be, awkward, uneasy? It'd be an awkward moment in the room when these facts come out and you be amongst your so-called colored friends. Yes. Let's read it again. Ecclesiastes, a.k.a. Sirach 41:7, it says, the children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall be reproached for his sake. Yeah. So he embarrassed. It was, let's just read a little bit more. I'm going to go to the clip. It was precisely because slaves were reduced to property that they appear so regularly in a historic document, both in the U.S. and in Britain. And see, this is what subject matter is about, really. It's about Britain. I don't know for a fact whether Ben Affleck is Britain or British. I know that from the outlooks, he looks to be like an Edomite. He looks to be an Edomite, so-called white man, But, his spirit would have to be tested through the scriptures to see what he truly is. But, we're just going to assume that he is Esau Edom. It was precisely because slaves, listen to this, were reduced to property. So, property had no rights. And it's funny that they're quoting from 1858, the Dred Scott case come about during that time. Read that and just read about Dred Scott. Well, I think it was Supreme Court Judge Taney told him, and I'm quoting from memory, that a black man has no rights that a white man is bound to respect because you're property. You see what I'm saying? And that was in 1858. It says it was precisely because slaves were reduced to property that they appear so regularly in historic documents, both in the U.S. and in Britain. As property, slaves were listed in plantation accounts and itemized in inventories. They were recorded for tax reasons and detailed alongside other transferable goods on the page of thousands of wheels. So, you get wielded to the next. I was looking at this show today. My mother-in-law was rather looking at it, called The Help. And one of the ladies, one of the maids, I believe she was the oldest maid, and this white girl, she was doing a book called The Help. Anyway, the oldest maid gave a testimony where she said she worked for this white woman, right? And she was a nice white woman, and she rather enjoyed that white woman. But then in the will, she had to work for this other white woman, and this other white woman was rude and she wasn't a good woman at all. But it goes to show, even in these movies, they write it in such a way because they're the owners. I mean, the people who write and produce these movies are the children, the great-great-grandchildren of the slave owners. And so they're passing this tradition on down through one another secretly, trying to hide documents here and there. But once it comes spilling over, just like Ecclesiastes 41:7, they're ashamed. They want to complain about their ungodly fathers. You know what I'm talking about? But at the same time, they want to reap the rewards of what they've done. They want that first class status and pretend as though you're all equal. Everybody has equal opportunity. Anyway, let's see. For historical documents cut to, they were recorded for tax reasons and detailed alongside other transferable goods. It's talking about slaves on pages of thousands of wills. For historical documents cut to the reality of slavery more than list of names written alongside monetary value. It is now almost 2 decades since I have my first encounter with British plantation records, and I still feel a surge of emotion when I come across entries from slave children who, at only a few months old, have been ascribed as value in sterling. The scale of children and the separation of families was among the most bitter, resented aspect of an inhuman system. Anyway, and that still goes on to today. Matter of fact, nothing hasn't changed. So let them fool you. Lock you.
The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have landed in Jamaica on the second leg of their Caribbean tour. But the couple has been warned they face a frosty reception, with a Good Morning Britain correspondent comparing the situation to Jamaica's Brexit as they debate whether to keep the monarchy. Dancehall star Beanie Man told Good Morning Britain that William and Kate were not welcome. Meanwhile, Yahoo political correspondent Nadine Batchelor-Hunt said, "I don't think Brits realize how angry Jamaicans are over the treatment of Meghan by the royal family and the British public. And the royal family should be worried. The decolonization movement has picked up steam in recent years. Barbados just abolished the Queen as head of state." Good Morning Britain's correspondent Noel Phillips appeared on The Breakfast Show to discuss the couple's appearance at the second of the 3 Commonwealth realms they're visiting. He explained how Jamaica will begin the process of removing the Queen as head of state once the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge leave. Local politicians plan to push ahead with turning the country into a republic by August. Mr. Phillips stated that normally the process for such a movement is a referendum. He said, "The vote is put to the people of the country to decide if they want to leave or not. The Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, has a large majority so he doesn't have to go to the people." Although there has been no official confirmation, the removal of the monarch as head of state could be a swift process and could happen as early as August, which marks Jamaica's 60th independence anniversary month. In response, commentator Dr. Sholomos Shogbamimu launched an incredible attack against the firm. She claimed the Cambridge's royal tour was an utter failure and branded it tone-deaf. Sharing a screenshot of GMB's coverage, Dr. Shola wrote, "Jamaica government will commence the removal of the Queen as head of state once the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge leave."
Royal person could be coming here with no concern, no remorse in their heart, no nothing at all to say, "I am sorry," or "Please forgive me," or "See a school here, see a hospital here, see some reparations money here." Nothing at all. They have this what they call gentry privilege. That they feel because they were born of the womb of Eliza Witch of England, that they can just walk up in here anytime they feel like it and we must just lay a red carpet for them. Those days are over. I wish the whole of Jamaica would be here to protest, and we need to be here. Yes, of course, people are in their jobs and can't leave. I'm here to represent my ancestors. I'm here to represent all those who can be represented. I'm here to represent all those who died in slavery and got murdered because of white people's oppression. I'm here to represent my family in the future. When I'm dead and gone, there are Jamaicans going to be here and Africans are going to be here who need to understand we have to maintain our dignity and our self-respect. We cannot continue to allow white people to dominate us, do all manner of evil to us, and we sit back and pretend that it's not happening. I've seen our Prime Minister, who I have lost respect for, go to England and get a Queen's Counsel Award at a time when Jamaica is supposed to be living out of this madness, this colonial domination, at a time in which we kicking the Queen and our people out of our country, dumping the Governor General and all these people, all these colonial trappings, we to get rid of them. And at this time, I see my Prime Minister going to England to go and accept the Queen's Counsel Award. I can't tell you how disgusted and ashamed I was to see that man do that. You know? And that is the reason why I'm here today. To condemn those of us black people who refuse to stand up for our rights, who refuse to denounce European colonization, who refuse to come from under this shackle of slavery. I'm here to tell Jamaican people, get up off your butts and stand up and for your rights. Bob Marley taught us, Marcus Garvey taught us, and they better believe if Paul Bogle didn't get up and fight, we would not be here talking right now, all this nice talk on TV and all these things. So if we don't stand up for our rights as black people, if we don't stand up against brutality, colonialism, domination, we're going to always be under the foot of the colonial master.
There you have it. This is let me go to, let's pull it up real quick. Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel 9 and verse 1, and it reads, He cries also in my ears with a loud voice, saying, Cause them that have charge over the city to draw near, even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand. Verse 2, and it says, And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lieth toward the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand, and one man among them was clothed with linen, with a writer's inkhorn in his by his side, and they went in and stood beside the basin altar. Verse 3, and it says, And glory to the God of Israel was gone up from the cherubim, whereupon he was to the threshold of the house, and he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side. And the Lord Yahweh said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem is a people for its place, because we have no continuing city, as we're scattered. And set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said in my hearing, Go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have pity. And this is going into the ones, like he said, the guy went over there to England, and he was ashamed that he went over there and did what he did, somebody for the honor of Jamaica, for them Benjaminites, them brothers of the Southern Kingdom, Benjamin, but young. And he says, and this is for them, and it says, and go to the others, he said in my hearing, Go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have pity. Slay utterly, old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom the mark, that the Wah, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. So, that's why you see the brothers go out on the highways and hedges, to complain about all these things that have been set for, that have been set in action, that have been set into play since these people have taken rulership, And like you heard that brother say, that Jake say, man, they ain't had the audacity to come in there and apologize, because it's all fake and phony, That's why they didn't apologize, They're not going to apologize because, they try to smooth things over, but because they can see that end coming. They can see that end coming. This is Proverbs 16:4, and I'm going to end it with this here. It reads, The Lord Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, had made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked, for the day of evil. Their time coming. Their time is coming. Shalom.